Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Now we've got 3 different bands on the channel today. They don't all sound the same, and that's because we got a priority submission from our good friend Blind Equation. And you'll know he's got real kind of out there music, emotional, post-hardcore, cyber grind stuff, real spazzing out stuff. So yeah, it's hard for me when he makes a submission, which I love getting his submissions, but it's hard for me because I've never generally got a ton of bands like this in the queue for me to just, oh, here we go, we'll whip out 3 cyber grind bands and spin them all back to back. No, I can't usually do that with this kind of music, so I don't come across this kind of music enough, so I've pulled out 2 other bands. One other band that we've had on the channel before, and they've got a real electronic edge to their music, and then a new band to the channel, and they've got a more post-hardcore edge to their music, so I thought we'd go in the both directions with it. But let's first check out Blind Equation's track. This is a new one he's got. It's called Lcd Dem. I've already listened to it. It's very cool. Here we go. Let's give it a spin. Distortion on the vocal makes it real loud. Very cool. Really nice job. It's really quite intense music to listen to because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of layers of sound and it's all quite quick and stuff. So yeah, you can really put your ear to this music and listen to a lot of different stuff going on in it. And aside from the vocal as well, it's actually quite heavy because of that, because of the amount of layers. It creates a thickness and a heaviness within the mix, even though they're not really, chunky, distorted guitars and things like that. They're very electronic and digital sounds. So yeah, he makes a good job of it, of filling out the sound with all those different layers going on and weaving in and out of each other. Very cool. But with that vocal and with the distortion on the vocal, it's got a real roar to it, a distorted roar, and it's got a harshness to it as well. So again, that fills out the mix, makes it sound thick and chunky, brings in a distorted edge to the music as well. So yeah, nice job on this stuff. I'll be interested, I'm not 100% sure. Do you do all of this yourself, write it, record it, mix it and everything yourself? Because if that's the case, it's super dope, really nice. Because there's a lot to think about in this kind of music. There's a lot going on, you got to think about all the different layers. Very, very cool. Now, the next band we're going to check out is Hiraki. We had these guys on the channel not too long ago, actually, but with a totally different kind of track, more of a kind of noise rock track. This one's got an electronic edge to it by the sounds of things. So I thought, well, I haven't got too many bands with an electronic edge in the queue. So these guys are on today with Blind Equation. Let's check them out. as well. Yeah, really quite an intense track as well. Building and building and looping and kind of just getting more intense as it goes on. Yeah, really cool. Quite an interesting experimental track, this one. Not stuff that you would normally hear every day. Different vibes going on, electronic vibes, lots of vocal layering and stuff in there. Again, lots of layers of music to listen to in this one that are building on top of each other and creating a thickness to the mix. Yeah, very cool. Really quite different, but we like that on this channel. We like checking out stuff that's different. And this band is called Indifferent Engine. And this is a new band to the channel. They've got a track here called Tachikoma. And I pulled these guys out the queue because they've got quite a different sound to their mix and their overall tone. Sounds quite tapey, kind of got a old digital edge to it as well. But they've also got a post-hardcore-y and noisy edge to their music. And that seems to be what we're kind of getting along the lines of today. So I thought, yeah, we'll pull these guys out as well, give them a spin on the channel. So let's get it on the screen, see what it's all about. If you listen to the mix, we have got a bit of headroom on this one, which I'll turn up, but you hear it's got quite a different sound to it overall. Got a tapey, swash sound.
Filled in blanks, they felt just like mine.
Cool. Nice passion in the vocal. Nice looseness to this one in the guitars, jangly, stringy sound. What's interesting about this mix as well is they've stereoized the guitars, but they've done different things on the left and the right. So it's not just like your standard stereoized guitars. Very cool. Love the passion in this one from the vocalist. You can just feel it coming through the mic. Super nice. That's what I love about post-hardcore music. You just get raw shouting emotion from the vocalist. Love it. These guys sounded great though, and really quite an interesting mix and way to make a track as well. With the way they pan the guitars on this track. If you don't know, Most tracks, 99.9% of tracks, is the way that you record the guitars is you record the guitarist doing the exact same thing again, then you pan that to the left and the right, and that's how you get that nice big thick chunky guitar-y sound. What these guys did is they record one guitar and then they recorded a totally different guitar take and then pan those left and right. So what you get is one thing going on in one ear and one thing going on in the other ear. It kind of splits your brain into the two if you're trying to listen to both at the same time. And it's an interesting way to do it. It's a very unusual way to do it. You don't see it very often because most people want that thick, chunky sound, that you get from stereoized guitars like that. And when you do it like this, guys, as I say, it's really kind of difficult to listen to the both at once because you've got to split your brain and kind of put your focus on one ear or the other. So it's not a very traditional way to do it, but I like it very much. I've done it with my own music and I like the way that it catches your ear because you'll hear something in this riff and then you'll hear something in that riff, and it kind of you kind of darting between your two ears and it kind of catching each ear at certain times. I really like that. And I like the way it's different to the normal standard mix. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. But in terms of the music, these guys had a great bop to them. I like the way the drummer was working the snare, tap 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 tap. Kept a nice beat and pace in the music. Sounded great. And as I say, overall they had quite an interesting tone to the music because of the distortion on the vocal as well. Had a tapiness to it. Had a dirtiness to it as well, like the whole mix had been put through a saturator or a tape emulator or something like that, to give it that vintagey rough sound, which I thought was really nice as well. So interesting band. All the bands today are interesting and got different stuff going on in their music. It's a real mix of sounds today, but I think you can get on board with all of these if you're into this kind of music because they've all got something going on that can catch your ear, whether it's the post-hardcore vocals, whether it's the interesting electronic edges, or whether it's that they're just a bit different, thinking outside the box, and they're all in that kind of boat as well. So yeah, very, very cool. 3 cool bands to check out. Hope you've enjoyed that today. Something a bit different. We'll see you around, guys. Bye.